Okay, this video is going to give you a brief overview of what you need to do for your integrated Excel and Word project. So you will be comparing 4 to 5 careers of your choice using data from the Occupational Outlook Handbook website. The steps that you need to complete would be, first of all, you go to the website and you collect the data on 4 to 5 careers. So I've pulled up the website here, and as you can see, we have occupational groups on the left, and you need to pick an occupational group you're interested in. And once you select the link, you'll see specific occupations. And you can click on one that you are interested in. And the summary page actually has quite a bit of the data that you need to collect. Now, to make this data collection a little bit easier for you, I have created a little form that you can fill in. And because all of the careers are at the same site, some of this is filled in for you. Now, for the one that I'm looking at, the occupation would be web developer. So I would actually highlight that and change that here. You would put today's date as the date accessed. And then for your URL, I'll move this out of the way. The easiest way to get that is just to click up here and it'll highlight it. Press Control and the letter C so you can copy the URL. And then you can click here and paste. And to paste, you can either click the paste button or you can press Control and the letter V as in vase, and then it will paste it in there for you. For the pay and the educational level and the work experience, all of that information tends to be right here. So you're going to use the yearly pay, enter whatever the education level is, whatever the work experience and job training are. These would be the current number of jobs. This is how much the number of jobs is increasing over the years, and then you've got the number of new jobs. Okay, so all of that data can be placed right on the form. Okay, so we've got the median pay, entry-level degree, work experience, number of jobs, the percent change, and the employment change. Then you get into description of the job and working conditions. And a description is right in here, so you can kind of read through that. You can also read through the work environment. For a little bit more information on what they do in work environment, I would actually look at these, because this gives you a better idea of what exactly they do and what the work environment is like. Okay, so once you've collected all that data, if you want to find occupations that are similar, you can actually click on similar occupations, and then it will list several links, and you can click on the link and enter data for that occupation. And the form actually has 5 pages worth of entry areas, and you need 4 to 5 occupations. So there's plenty of room on this form for all of the jobs that you're going to be reviewing. Now, after you have collected your data, your next step is to go into a brand new blank Excel workbook and enter the data into a worksheet. Okay, and you're going to name the sheet Career Comparison. You're going to have a career column, median pay, minimum education, basically all that data that you just collected. Make sure that you enter the median pay as a number, okay? And then you're going to want to format that number. And for the number of jobs and the growth rate, employment change, these should all be numbers as well. And then you can format them. And the reason these need to be numbers is because you are going to be creating charts from them. And you can only create charts from numbers. So once you've got this entered and you've formatted it, and this is just pretty basic formatting on this, you're going to want to select a theme. You can change the colors and change the font themes to whatever you want. And you'll notice that the title was centered and merged. I did use the title cell style. Okay. I used the title cell style on the subtitle and decreased the size a little bit. And then for my headings, I have a heading 3 style. And you'll notice that I did wrap the text, and you're going to want to do that as well. And once you've got this created, then you're going to be creating 2 different charts. One of them is going to be median pay. That'll probably be the easier one to create, because you basically can select information that is adjacent. So you'll probably start up here, just go across and down. Okay. And then you can generate the bar chart from that. And this type of chart is very good for ranking. You're going to want to display the values and add a little graphic. Okay. And if you look at the layout, you'll notice there is a layout that does display values. That may be the one that you want to select. Because there is only one bar, I would definitely hide the legend, which you can do by clicking on your plus sign up here. Okay, and you'll notice that there's no check next to legend because it's hidden. Okay, so that would be your first chart. Your second chart is going to be a little bit more complicated because you are going to be looking at employment change and the number of jobs. And you can either use a stacked column or a clustered column. I kind of like the stacked column for this just because it gives you an idea of the total number of jobs. Okay, because we've got the current number and then the expected change. Okay, so you can kind of get an idea of volume this way. And I chose the layout that actually has the values at the bottom, which was this one, because I actually liked seeing the numbers on this. Now, the tricky part on this is going to be selecting the correct data because they're in non-adjacent columns. Okay, so you're going to want to select the occupations, okay, because those display along the bottom. They're called your Category X labels. You're also going to want to select employment change and the number of jobs. So knowing that, we're going to highlight this. And then, because these are not next to each other, you need to add them to the selection. So you're going to press Control, and you're going to highlight the number of jobs. Keep your finger on Control, and then you're going to highlight employment change. And at this point, you can release the Control key. So again, the tricky part on this is highlighting the correct information. So you left drag over the first group, press Control. That allows you to add to the selection, and then you left drag over additional ranges. Okay, when you're done, you release your Control key. And at that point, you can go into the insert ribbon and create your chart. Now, once you have your spreadsheet and your charts, your next step is going to be to create the report. And I have provided an example report for you, and that example should help you out quite a bit as far as organizing your report. And you do need a cover. Okay, and this cover was very boring, so I did add a graphic, and you will need to add a graphic to yours as well. You know, and it's up to you where you want to position it. I mean, I could put it here and make it bigger. You know, it's totally up to you how you want that to look. And as far as your theme goes, you can pick any theme that you want. I do want you to pick a specific design set. And actually, I can't be on this page. Let me go down here. For your design set, we wanted, and for some reason people get confused on the design sets, but it's lines stylish. So if you point and pause, it will tell you what the name is, and we want line stylish. Okay? And again, it does not matter what your theme is, doesn't matter what your colors are, and it does not matter what your font theme is. Make sure you insert a cover. It does not matter to me what your cover page looks like, totally up to you. You do want career comparison for your title. Your name should be on there somewhere in the course. You can put the date. The template that I used here for the cover wanted the year, so I stuck the year in. But the different templates do ask for different information, so it's going to be kind of up to you to customize that. So once you've got your theme selected, you've got the design set, you've created your cover, you're going to come in and do the body of your paper. Make sure you put a page number in the footer. And you'll notice that there are headings identifying the different sections. These do have the heading 1 style. And your paper itself should be double spaced, and the spaces that are after your paragraphs should be removed. And then you can just start writing your paper. And the introduction basically is giving an overview of what the paper is about. Okay, and it specifically is saying what we're going to be discussing. And then we've got occupational information, starting out with things that are in common as far as work tasks goes. Then we get into the educational requirements. We get into number of jobs and growth rate. And because there was a chart showing this, the chart is included here. And there's lots of different ways that you can embed charts. And this is embedded. The technique that I chose, which I think is the easiest, is to just pretty much click on your chart and copy it. Go into your report and then paste it. And I did adjust some of the wrapping, okay, so that I could kind of position it. But you'll notice that once it goes into your report, the colors in your chart may change a little bit depending on the theme that you've chosen for your report. So if you don't want colors changing, I would probably choose the same theme in your report that you chose in the spreadsheet. Okay, so after the discussion of the number of jobs and the change in employment, discuss your pay rates. That way you can bring in your pay comparison chart. And I've embedded this the same way I did the other one. And then finally, there's a paragraph on working conditions. The conclusion basically identifies what factors you feel are important in your selection of a career. So there's really not a right or wrong way to do the conclusion. It's what you think, what is important to you, which careers you are leaning towards, and why. Now, after this page, you do want to put in a manual page break here because you do need references. And to do the references, the information, if you filled out the form when you were at the Occupational Outlook site, you filled in that form, you have all the data you need for these references. So you basically go into your reference ribbon. The style we're going to use is APA. You click on Manage Sources, and then you're going to click on New. And when you click on New, I'll just edit one of these so you can see, you'll get a blank source. Make sure you choose Website. And then you have to turn on Show All Bibliography Fields, because by default it doesn't show them all. And then the ones that you need to fill in are the author, the name of the page, the name of the site. Now you'll notice that the name of the page and the name of the site are very similar. The difference is the name of the page includes the occupation, okay, and the name of the website does not. So when I key these in, I keyed the first one in, highlighted this, press Control and C to copy, click here, Control and V as in vase to paste. And then I kind of scroll down here, and you need to include the year, the month, and the day you accessed, and then the URL. And I simply copied the URL from my form into here. I thought that was a little easier. And so that is the information you need. Then you click OK, and you'll create another one. So you're going to end up with 4 or 5 of these, depending on how many careers you looked at. Once you've got that filled in, okay, you're going to come down to this reference page. Make sure you center the reference title, and then you're going to left align everything else. And you're going to click on Bibliography. Come all the way down here to Insert Bibliography. Now this will be bold-faced. It isn't for me because I already have one. Okay, so for you, you aren't going to have one yet, so it is going to be bold-faced. And then you can select that command. Once the bibliography was in here, the only thing I had to do was double space. So I had to highlight everything and come in here and double space it. That was the only change I had to make. Everything else was correct. The font size for me was the same as the body. Okay, so that was the only adjustment that I had to make. Once you're done with this, you are going to save it. And then you need to turn in the report and the spreadsheet. Now, I would make sure that both of them were closed, and then you can upload those to the Dropbox.